In case you guys don't know, this is the title: "Calming Your Brain During Conflict." And if you see up there, right there, just above the live, you see emotional intelligence. That's going to be the highlight of this entire conversation. I thought it was quite interesting. I know a lot of people spoke on it, but it's very important as men to understand and get a grasp over our emotions. Well, at least I think that's what we're gonna do. I'm not sure. It's all depending on what you guys bring to the table. You know, some people say that men should be emotional and express their emotions. Some men say it's okay for men to be emotional, but they just got to learn how to have control over it. So let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. When you guys, real briefly, because I don't want to spend too much time on the Jawan Howard situation, I do want to tie this into everyday life, right? Because this doesn't happen every day, but I do think we can pull some things from it. What was your initial thoughts when you guys seen this?
Mm. My initial thoughts when I seen this was the same thing I saw on Sage Talk. It's like as black men, it's easy to trigger us. We didn't see this incident happening around all sports. You know what I'm saying? Somebody running up the score. And a lot of time the coaches just, if they got an issue with it, they just walk past each other. Like Jawan attempted to do, but this is the thing. That other coach, I'm putting something on him too, because he knew that he understood that he could easily trigger Jawan, and it worked to perfection. Certain words, certain things that you know what I'm saying that said in reality, us as black men, we just get triggered too easy by words, by gestures, and all that kind of stuff. And one time, like once it get to that point, you see like it's a point of no return. You know what I'm saying? And Jawan Howard, he had a history of this, you know what I'm saying, back when he was playing basketball for Michigan with the Fab Five. So this is something that it hunts black man. We constantly see it. We're almost like we're our worst enemies because it's easy for other races to trigger us. And this is just a perfect example of a black man easily getting triggered, you know what I'm saying, and it'll escalate and go to the next point.
When I first heard it, I was like, "This is crazy," because um, it was a big deal for him to even get the job, and for him to, I don't even know what it could have been said for him to for him to kind of go off on somebody like that. But that was my first initial response, was like the interview that he had when he had accepted the job, and how excited and elated that he was. And that was just maybe like 3 years ago. And then fast forward, it's like all of that's gone just because of something somebody said. So that was my initial response.
Yeah, I'd seen the video. Basically, somebody that was on the court put up a crystal clear version of it. You could actually hear what they were saying. Jawan was walking by him at the end of the game and was like, "Bet, I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna remember that." And then that's why the coach grabbed him. He was like, "Wait, what you talking about?" Da, da, da. And you know what I'm talking about? Da, 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 da. Like you didn't have to do whatever it was. I think he was running up the score, whatever the case may be. And like white coach was trying to talk to him or whatever, but again, like he knew what he did, but he trying to play that role like, "Dog, dude, it's not like that," da, 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 that type of thing. But Jawan was already mad, and then that's when assistant coaches start running up, players start running up, trying to scuffle. Turned out somebody said something, then he swung. You know what I'm saying? So it's a situation where I'm with Mr. Logic on this, man. I'm just so tired of getting outsmarted in a game that we know is rigged. Like that fact is that we don't have the same consequences as they do, yet we move as if we do. We don't. So what that means is that you gotta play the game differently. The rules are not gonna change. They have been this way for centuries. Ever since we got to this country. It's a rigged game. I'm just tired of seeing us fall to it the same way. Right. So my immediate thoughts was, damn, he's stupid. He's stupid. He let them outsmart him. Like it'd be different if you're 19, 18, 21. So I was 50 years old. There's no excuse for that. You got to have long-term vision. You know what you're up against. You know how hard it is for black coaches to get head coaching jobs at these big D1 schools and NFL and NBA. And you got the golden opportunity to do it and you know, not only you do it, but open the door for more people to do it behind you. Yet you throw it away over a game that's meaningless. If we're gonna be honest, in the grand scheme of things, it's like it's stupidity is what it is. And we as black men, we got to get better at seeing the long play. That's the thing about them. I'm not gonna name a specific race, but them, even in corporate world, they play the paperwork game. They play the punch you in private, put their hands up in public type of game. And we know that. We know the games they play. Yet we still think we can move like we used to move in the hood or whatever. Because Jawans is from Chicago. So he from one of the worst places, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. So instinct. I know what his instinct is. Disrespect gets met with violence. That's just how we wire. That's how we cut. Don't care what it is. Don't care the arena. I'm gonna prove that I'm the toughest dude out here because I done got rewarded for that, or I done been tricked into thinking that means something because it meant something in that little ass neighborhood we from. But when you on grand scales and you 50 years old and you literally kicking down doors for black men behind you, you gotta move smart. He wasn't moving smart, so that was my thoughts. Stupidity. That was my thoughts.
Yeah, to me, bro, I was like, oh, it's Jawan Howard. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it's Jawan Howard. It's him. You know what I'm saying? And it, it just leads back to, again, building on what Trill said, on what Mr. Larger said, bro. Like, it's words. You know what I'm saying? Those words only affect you as you allow it, right? And what we got to understand, bro, in the grand scheme of things, the game is one up here and on paper, right? All this is just that, right? So I don't get what I can't even for a basketball game that really doesn't mean nothing in the long term, especially on Jawan Howard's part. And again, it's just another splinter, right? Another splinter they stick in them. You know what I'm saying? Say, oh, this guy's unmanageable. Oh, you can't work with this guy. Oh, this guy's not. You know what I'm saying? Right? It was stupid. It was stupid. There's no two ways about it. No matter how you want to say it, slice it or dice it, right? If that man didn't put hands on him, you know, in a offensive way, you keep walking and you keep it pushing, bro.
JB Shan.
I'm gonna let OG go first. I'm letting all the OGs go first.
Look, you guys know I don't watch professional sports, so I saw the highlights like flash across Facebook. I'm learning right now more than anything I've learned about this because I'm just not into professional sports, even collegiate sports. First thing I'm thinking, right, is he's the flesh of my flesh and blood. Okay, cool, calm, and collective is one of the things that I preach but don't practice. I have the tendency, me personally, have the tendency to snap when somebody pushes me. I could probably see myself in that. And that's probably why I'm an entrepreneur, because getting out of corporate, I got to be in charge. But everything these brothers said, I agree with. There's nothing I don't disagree with. I just wish that I had better control over my emotions. And I'm talking about, and we can transcend this into relationships. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, type there, but we ain't got there yet.
Oh, okay. You know, now I can talk on that. I could talk on that, but
yeah, we talking about just leave it here.
In general, yeah, in general, when it comes to being cool, calm, and collective, you got to kind of assess the situation and see what pick and choose your fight. Yeah, everybody's heard the cliche, but have you really paid attention to it? You got to pick and choose your fights, and this is we'll talk about it when we get to the relationships. But even at work, even on the court. Even players, I've seen stuff where, you know, highlights where players, I watched a clip the other day where an NFL player walked up to somebody and then took off on him while he had his helmet on. They fully dressed, helmet on helmet, punched him in the helmet. And then dude looked at him like, what? And then he punched him in the helmet again. Dude locks. And then the team came. I'm just thinking to myself, now, first my thought is, why would you punch somebody in the helmet? Because just like you guys are talking about, we kind of black out. You're not thinking you punching somebody in the helmet because you know it ain't hurting if you had any logical sense, but we're illogical when we make moves, when we move with our emotions. So if you would have added some logic and sense and a little bit of reason to that, you would have known don't go over there and punch somebody in the side of the face mask as if it's going to do anything. But again, here we have a coach smacking people, smacking another coach, knowing that the lights, the cameras, high definition, 4K, everything is going to be there. And he's the boss. I'm assuming he's the head coach. What I don't know is his job at jeopardy? Did he get fined, or what was the repercussions on either one of them? I don't know that. I'd like to know.
Got suspended.
Yeah, he got suspended 5 games the rest of the regular season.
How much money is that?
Oh, wow.
So that right there tells me how much the slap cost.
I think he also got fined. He also got fined $40,000.
It's a $40,000 slap.
So he got fined $40,000. I don't know what he's paid.
If he's suspended, if he's suspended, I mean, if they suspend some sort of pay or dock his pay because he's missing games times 5, let's assume he's a head coach of that kind of school. So let's assume he's getting $1 million just on the low end, maybe. You talking shit. That's $20,000 at least per slap. So he's just paid out $150,000 to slap somebody. Would you do that if you had the right sense, if you had the right thought of mind, if you removed emotion and made the next move with logic? Would you spend $150,000 to make that move? Probably not.
And it can be more because that dude still can sue him. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of different possibilities in there, though. But go ahead.
JB, let me know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys, you guys pretty much touched on what I was going to say. So we kind of had a similar conversation on the Broken Dusty show, which is my show for those who don't know. But we had a similar conversation about, like if you with your girl and the dude at the, if you with your girl at the club and the dude pulls up and says something to her or whatnot, like, anyway, just to see how quickly, like, Black men are willing to jump to, like, the, I'm gonna go fight this dude, or I'm gonna go, basically create some conflict. Even if that's not what you're saying it is, that's essentially what it is. I think I agree that the biggest weakness, in my opinion, or one of the biggest weaknesses of Black America, and specifically Black men, is the emotionalism. Because, and everybody knows this, even in politics, like, you could see that that's the one thing that they use against the Black community is our emotions. So when you have people who are so easily, tricked out of their freedom, tricked out of their bag, tricked out of whatnot, just because of how they're going to react, it's very easy to put them in that position. So I don't know. My perspective is that, like, you're more powerful, especially even with the example at the club. Like, JB locked up is useless, right? But, like, while I'm out, then we can resolve it in a different way. It's kind of like a comment I saw while you guys were talking. Somebody said, lose the battle, win the war, right? And it's like, you don't have to. I think there's this idea that you got to be tough. Like, you have to. If you don't react this way, you're not tough enough. You're not a man. You're not. A lot of Black men, are raised to think like that, and so because of that, you feel the need to react to every situation, with a certain level of force or with a certain level of just emotionalism. So yeah, that's basically my perspective on it. Is I think it's sad that it's so easy to trick us out of our freedom, bag, opportunities, etc.
No, it
I have
is.
a question.
Okay,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think it just starts with our upbringing. It starts in the neighborhood. Like, we are rewarded for being just belligerent and ignorant. Like, we get praised for that in a lot of these neighborhoods we grow up in. Like, if you willing to crash out, shoot somebody, beat somebody up, rob somebody, do whatever the case may be, like, you'll get patted on the back for that. You'll get praised for that, more so than the grown man in the neighborhood that's getting up, going to work at the post office every day. We look at him like, that's school, we whatever. But this dude here, he done shot 3 people. You know what I'm saying? This the OG right here. This is what I'm looking up to, man. This da. And not only do you get the admiration on one side, but you get that from the women too. Because women tend to, especially when you're growing up and you younger, women tend to lean that way. They want the thug dude. They want the dude that's willing to crash out and act a fool. So it's like we program ourselves to think that being the toughest guy in the room is rewarding. And that's cool until we leave that neighborhood. Then we in the corporate world. So where none of that can help you. I ain't never seen nobody get rich from being the toughest dude in the room. Never. Even boxers, it's not about being tough. It's about being smart. You look at a Floyd Mayweather, somebody who's the richest boxer to ever do it. He won most of his fights with his mind. It's not so much him being the toughest man in the room. There's a lot of fighters he was fighting, he's smaller than. If we gonna keep it deep.
AC, how many people had Suge Knight just pop in their mind when you said that?
Man, but you already know. Blew what, 400, 500 million?
Gone.
From trying to be tough?
Locked in jail, blind and walking with a cane.
$500 million company.
Crazy. So it's like, again, man, it starts younger, man, and we gotta find a way to change that, to reprogram that to where we don't feel like that's normal. Even what JB just said, he said JB in prison is no good to anybody. But the irony is, right, is when you grow up in a lot of the neighborhoods, you get stripes for going to prison. You get stripes for getting locked up. Yeah, man, my boy just came home from doing 5, you know what I'm saying? Like he, not now you walking around here with your chest out now. He's something to be feared. He's something to be reckoned with. Like it's praise involved. And it's just ignorance. And you don't realize it until you get older. And now I can't get a job because I got a record, or I can't do this, or I can't move in this community because they don't allow felons here, or people that used to sell drugs, or people that got violent crimes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't realize how much that stuff is crippling you until you get older, man. So I think it starts at the grassroots level, bro. We got to change that.
And also, like, I remember when I was hooping this one time, and we was winning this game or whatever. I was probably like 24, 25.
Street ball or organized?
It was organized ball. and we was winning against the number 1 team. And they pushed me because I was a starting point guard. They pushed me. Ref didn't see it. I pushed them back. They saw me push. And they kicked me out the game. And we ended up losing the championship game. Right. So I learned that young, that my emotions had to be in check, regardless of the circumstances. And so I'm curious to like with Jawan, like, has he ever had a consequence for responding in such a belligerent manner? You know what I'm saying? And also thinking about, like, for me, I would always be thinking about my family. Like, what decision am I making that's going to mess up my family situation, which would be my money situation, and then put a bad rep on your name. Like, it just really doesn't make sense to me. So I was just curious to the panel. Have y'all ever been in a situation where you had to kind of restrain yourself, or you felt, victim to not being able to restrain yourself, and how did you respond?
And see, I'm gonna address that because and this is an elevated way of thinking, you know what I'm saying, off the baseline of the conversation. It is a tactic that's used. Like right now we're puppets. And I'm gonna say we because I'm saying we as black men, and I'm not saying all. So, you know what I'm saying, people don't get triggered. You know what I'm saying? But it's a tactic that we use, and we're puppets because we play into it. That you'll see that it's I think it was one of the coaches at Alabama that had said where he told the players that he knew the opposing team hotheads, and they would say things, they would do things to get them, just like Humble Dad said, to get them off, you know what I'm saying, off their square, because they knew they would react in such a way. And then you got to realize that, I want to just say this, that game, I think they was up 14. The coach was calling timeout to try to get, you know what I'm saying, to extend the game. Up 14. Normal Curtis in the game, we know what they do. They just take the ball there or just run out the clock, right? So the thing is yes, that man was being disrespectful, but he knew what he was doing and he was going against. If there was a white coach on that other end, he probably wouldn't have did it because he know he wouldn't have got that reaction. And now what you'll get is you'll get Jawan Howard reacting when now the story should have been, look, this coach is being unprofessional. You know what I'm saying? This coach is, you know what I'm saying? And then they got a lot of different ways you can put it. You know what I'm saying? He prolonging the game. And then, if that's in any kind of, and college football, basketball is a professional sport. People get paid millions. You know what I'm saying? Name and likeness now, it is a professional sport. So now you running the risk of getting kids hurt and all that kind of different stuff. Tempers running because you're trying to prolong the game. But he understood that I can get in my opponent's mind. he was able to sit here and think that. And now because Jawan Howard lack emotional intelligence, he don't think, he don't say to himself, now why would that guy do that? Oh, he trying to get me. We always fall victim. Jalen Ramsey, he fall victim every time because they know you can say some word to his like, your mama a hoe, and he ready to go in your shit. We see it all the time, but this is the first platform I ever heard it ever been spoke about. And that's a problem because we don't see it as being the issue like it is.